first thing you need to make really great pickles is to start with really fresh cucumbers. So let's go in my garden and take a look at some really fresh cucumbers. I love cucumbers. I think they have this great personality. Here's one back here growing. Hello. There's a few more on the vine here. Oh, that one looks great down there. That's a great size. I personally like cucumbers that are on the small side for pickling, but a lot of people like to make really big cucumbers. So it's really a matter of preference. I think the smaller ones stay crunchier and they're just more manageable to me. Another must in the garden for great pickles is fresh dill. Here is my dill here. And I like to take one that's a little bit older, that's got the seeds formed, as opposed to these younger ones that have the flower. I love dill. It smells so good. Hey, let's head into my barn and we'll go and see the garlic. I have to say I am the best garlic grower ever. I grow the best garlic. There, I said it. Here's my famous garlic in the barn. It's curing at the moment, so it's kind of loud in here with the fan. But let's pick a great garlic for our pickles. I tend to keep these bigger garlics to grow again next year because they're just really special and I hope they'll reproduce well. So let's just pick a couple of the uglier garlics, little ones. How about these guys? We'll put them in our basket. The thing I think people want to know most of all is about how to keep their pickles crunchy and not mushy. I like to grow them, so I pick them fresh off the vine the morning that I'm going to pickle them. But if you can't do that and you have to buy them at a grocery store, I advise you buy them in season. And I'll show you a little trick for getting them crunchy even if you bought them at a grocery store. The first thing I do when I'm making pickles is in the morning I get a brine together. I get a 3.5% brine boiled on the stove and let that sit and cool for a couple of hours. For me, 3.5% is the magic number. For you, it might be a little bit different. I get enough brine together, actually more than enough brine together for more than just pickles, because usually later in the day I'm inspired to make something in addition to pickles, or the next day I keep it around for a day or two. My personal trick, if you're going to buy cucumbers from a farmer's market or from a grocery store, or even pick them over the course of a few days and they're not completely perfectly fresh, is I put them in a very cold ice bath for at least about an hour, and that helps firm them up and crisp them up. The thing that you want to make sure of when you're getting your pickles, when you're picking them, is that you're getting a cucumber that is really a pickler, so it's designed for making pickles. They have little spines on them, you know, they kind of look like a pickle. If you get these kinds, which are the smooth type, slicing cucumbers, or sometimes they're called salad cucumbers, they're just not the right type for pickling, at least in this way, and they will get very mushy and you'll be disappointed. So it's pretty simple. All you really have to do is start layering your cucumbers, either your brand new fresh ones or your chili cold ones. I like to rub the cucumbers a little bit. You want to get the blossom end off, and some of these spikes along the edges, the spines, you don't really want to have too much of that. So you just layer them in the crock. Along the way, you can also add your tannin-rich leaves. These are the black currant leaves. They smell so good, so you just add those. This is a beautiful horseradish leaf. Let's add that as well. As I was saying before, you can just add a black tea bag if you don't happen to have some of these leaves in your garden. I also add the dill. This is the beautiful dill we harvested earlier, so I add that to the crock. And I take my garlic. This is the garlic we picked from the barn earlier, and I slice it in half and just add that to the crock. Then when you're all done with that, you just want to pour the brine on top of it. Use a little bit more here. Pretty much until it's almost all the way full, at least until the cucumbers are covered. And then I take weights. Some people will use stones that they boil and sanitize, but I like these nice weights that came with my beautiful crock here. And the weights hold everything below the surface of the brine. Anything that comes above the surface of the brine, basically figure on that getting rotten. So you want to hold as much below the brine as possible. And you're almost done. The next thing you do is put your lid on the crock and a little bit of water around the outside of the lid to keep as much air out as possible. And your crock of pickles is all set to go. So after a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4, you'll have a half sour pickle. These are delicious. I eat tons of these. They're great to taste along the way as your pickles mature. And then after a few more days after that, you have a full sour pickle. This is what the pickle is all about. Listen to the crunch. Crunchy.